term Chinese food racist because it's food that originates in China or it has Chinese?
No, I don't think it's racist.
From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie watchman. The Chinese virus is racist. The deep state propaganda machine have a new talking point in order to paint Trump as racist. And this is an absolute clanger. Calling the virus from China, the Chinese virus, is now racist. In order to believe this charge, you have to be prepped by years of brainwashing from the mainstream media. You already have to believe the charge before it is voiced. You have to suspend all logic, i.e. the virus came from Wuhan China, and therefore it is factually accurate to call it the Chinese virus. Keep in mind, naming a disease after its original location is not something new or novel. It's been happening for hundreds of years. The Spanish flu is the most obvious example, but the Zaire ebola virus would be another. The Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome is another. The Australian bat lyssavirus, Japanese encephalitis, etc., etc. But what is new is that there is a president in the USA who cannot be controlled by the elite. And the media wing of the deep state have gone into hyperdrive, employing every Orwellian tactic they can to distance him from the people. As they say, whoever controls the language controls the masses. And that means changing the language in order to make truth racist. Those who fall for this are not necessarily bad people. They have just been hardwired to believe Trump is racist, and therefore everything that comes out of his mouth has to go through a prism with racism attached to it. Of course, given that Trump is a fighter, once he's been called a racist for something that is not racist, he is going to make sure he says it again and again and again. At every coronavirus news conference, he will not fail to make the connection. This is not xenophobic. This is calling out the news for its slander and its stupidity. Watch this interaction with a hapless baiting mainstream media reporter.
China and others have criticised you for using the phrase Chinese virus. How do you feel about that? Are you going to continue using that phrase?
Well, China was putting out information which was false, that our military gave this to them. That was false. And rather than having an argument, I said, I have to call it where it came from. It did come from China. So I think it's a very accurate term. But no, I didn't appreciate the fact that China was saying that our military gave it to them. Our military did not give it to anybody.
Critics say using that phrase creates a stigma.
No, I don't think so. No, I think saying that our military gave it to them creates a stigma.
Thankfully, some non-deep state media had made it into the press room. Watch this OAN reporter completely destroy the whole narrative and talking point with this question.
Consider the term Chinese food racist because it's food that originates in China or it has Chinese?
No, I don't think it's racist.
On that note,
I don't think it's racist at all.
On that note, major left-wing news media, even in this room, have teamed up with Chinese Communist Party narratives, and they're claiming you are racist for making these claims about Chinese virus. Is it alarming that major media players just to oppose you are consistently siding with foreign state propaganda, Islamic radicals, and Latin gangs and cartels, and they work right here at the White House with direct access to you and your team?
It amazes me when I read the things that I read. And people out there in the world, they really don't know the truth. They don't know what it is. They use different slogans and different concepts for me almost every week, trying to catch something. These are very dishonest media sources. They're very dishonest.
This won't be the last time Trump is called a racist for something that is not racist. Even when he closed the border with China, he was called a racist. In this Huffington Post article from early February, and I quote, Trump clearly sees the novel coronavirus as just another foreign invader to keep out. A viewpoint reflected both in his policy proposals and the way he and his administration talk about the virus. This approach is in line with his overarching political strategy of exploiting Americans' fears to justify racist, nativist policies. This is what we have to put up with, and I, for one, am sick to death of it. Here is Bruce Lavelle giving voice to this feeling like only an African American can.
It irks me. It irks me when you call this man a racist. My skin crawls right now.
I know that's right.
I'm tired of it.
We see it. Lead the president.
You attack him,
You attack.
You attack all of us. And I'm tired.
We all are.
Now he runs for president. Now all of a sudden he's a racist. How is that? Y'all know that's a lie.
It is.
It
Y'all
is
need
a
to
lie.
stop that.
And
I'm
Bruce,
so
he's
tired.
not colorblind. He can see.
Alvin, I know he is the greatest president for the African American community, black community, brown, mocha. Give me another one, Alvin. I get one witness at the table. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't be afraid to say it.
That's right.
All right.
I'm tired.
Real racism is dangerous and harmful and wrong. Calling something racist when it's not is also dangerous, harmful, and wrong.